Welcome back. This is not a podcast. It's just my thoughts with Rob Markman. It's accountability time. Shout out. A few of you may notice that I took down a video that I did earlier today regarding the recent ruling in the Drake UMG case. There was a ruling yesterday, and I made a video about it this morning. And I put the video up, and I wasn't 100% correct. There was a nuance that I missed, and I wanted to clarify. This whole channel for me is as much as it's about reporting, as much as it's about giving opinions, as much as it's about me using my voice, and for those of y'all who this is also entertaining, as much as it's about entertainment, it is very much for me about community, and it's very much for me about accountability and holding up the culture. So I had to be accountable. So I took that video down. I wanted to redo it and put it back up. So if you saw that video go up and you're a little bit confused as to what happened, a lot of people didn't even catch the nuance. Some did, but I was wrong. There was something that I missed, a small detail. I'm going to get into it. First, I want to shout out to Michelle Mybell 5608. She wrote, "Curtis, you got this a little wrong." First of all, Curtis, she confused me with Curtis King. I'm assuming she confused me with Curtis King. My guy, not a bad person to get confused for, but it's Rob, Michelle. Now, I appreciate you, though. She said, "Curtis, you got this a little wrong. The judge gave Drake's lawyer the right to request documents and UMG's lawyer the right to contest individual requests. They don't have to just hand over everything they ask for." So shout out to Michelle. Just wanted to give you a shout out. Appreciate you. And the way you went about it. But boom. So here it is. We all know about the Drake UMG lawsuit. You know, the one that has Kendrick's Not Like Us, right? Like square in the center. We know that. It's where Drake is alleging defamation against the record company that both he and Kendrick are signed to. So they're saying that UMG, Universal Music, this is a defamation lawsuit against them with Not Like Us square in the center. So in the lead up to all this, Drake's lawyers filed a motion requesting documents like Drake's contract with the company, marketing contracts, documents to see how songs are being promoted, I guess, and documentation that shows compensation and bonuses for Interscope CEO John Janik. Because what Drake claimed in his lawsuit is that Janik's bonus is tied to the success of the specific label. Interscope is the label. It's under UMG. Drake is under UMG, but he's under Republic. So it kind of, Janik, the better Interscope does, the bigger the bonus is for Janik. So it kind of pits Republic versus Interscope as well. But he wants to see the bonus structure for that. Saying that, Janik, and makes sense, right, is incentivized to blow Kendrick up, is to blow his artists up, is to get his records more successful, but over some of the UMG artists like Drake, like I said, who signed to Republic. And, and Drake is also saying that they purposely went through some nefarious means to promote Not Like Us, some illegal things, some things that weren't right. This is what Drake claims. So, despite the song being defamatory, like, okay, he's saying, hey, the song is defamatory, and UMG, you went through these extraordinary lengths to promote this record, knowing that this record is defamatory. This is what Drake is alleging. This is what is at the heart of the case. So UMG requesting to file the motion to block Drake from getting access to those documents, like full stop, like a blanket, is to stop, what they call like discovery, right? Is the turning over of evidence that one can help build the case. So UMG requested that the court just flat out block the discovery, like in one full swoop, all these requests for documents. UMG is saying to the court, nah, block this, like in one fell swoop. And yesterday in a pretrial conference, the judge ruled in favor of Drake, upholding Drake's right to request those documents. That's the key word. Upholding his right, not to necessarily obtain those documents or have the right to those documents, but to request those documents. And the judge said, this is a quote from the judge. Shout out to Inner City Press. I got this from their Twitter handle. They were in the courtroom. Inner City Press does some dope work, consistently, some dope legal work. But the judge said UMG can object to individual requests. So the judge denied the motion to stay discovery, so denied the motion for UMG to block these requests flat out. But the judge did say UMG can object to individual requests. but the motion to stay discovery was denied. All right. And that was my mistake. That was the part where I messed up at. So it doesn't necessarily mean that all requested documents from Drake's camp will be turned over. Like it's a case by case basis, right? Drake's lawyer, Michael Gottlieb, said in a statement, "Now it's time to see what UMG was so desperately trying to hide." We'll see. The overall ruling benefits Drake, and it'll be interesting to see what documents Universal actually has to turn over at the request of Drake's team and how much of those docs will be made public. Like, for example, if Drake's team does get access to Kendrick's recording contracts, what will they find in there that's relevant to this case, and how much of that will be made public? Think about it. Like, and I was saying this in my old video, how many recording contracts from major stars have you seen? Very few, if any. Like, speaking to the public, I believe Kanye leaked his own a few years back, but it's not information that the public is used to seeing and is privy to. And it's kind of neither here nor there, because I'd imagine that Drake has a favorable contract. I assume that he negotiated directly with UMG after he fulfilled his commitment to TDE, and based off of his success with TDE, he's had leverage and was able to get himself some pretty favorable terms. I don't believe, like, I'm almost 100% certain, like of course not, like, that there's nothing written in Kendrick's contract pertaining to Drake. That would be weird. I don't know. But I guess Drake's team is maybe looking to see if Kendrick is incentivized within his contracts how to deliver hits. Who knows how they would use this document. Or maybe the request for Kendrick's recording contract gets denied as an individual basis, and it's ruled that UMG doesn't have to turn that specific document over. But then maybe they say something like, hey, John Janik's bonus structure and incentive has to get turned over, or marketing documents has to get turned over on how Not Like Us was marketed. We don't know. It's a wait and see. So, I just want to say that. And again, I want to shout out Inner City Press, because they were reporting from inside the courtroom. And they also reported that Drake's lawyers are withdrawing a specific allegation that UMG conspired with and paid unknown parties to use bots to boost Not Like Us and its streams. If you remember the whole Academics thing, when they had a whistleblower on Academics saying, talking about botted streams and Not Like Us using bots. So Drake's lawyer said, this is a quote from Drake's lawyer from in the courtroom, and this is from Inner City Press, who was on hand, so they kind of transcribed some of it, said, they've sent us a Rule 11 letter about only 5 paragraphs of our lengthy complaint about the use of streaming farms. We have exchanged letters. We intend to withdraw those, but it's only a tiny portion of our complaint. So does this mean that Drake's team is falling back on the claim that Not Like Us was botted? Maybe, not necessarily. Could have just been how the complaint was worded. That specifically accused Universals of the ones doing the botting. We'll see. Not quite sure what this is, but they'll amend the complaint. You know what I'm saying? That they're going to change the complaint, and fix that. So we'll see about the alleged botting and how that shows up in the future. That's something to watch. Now, there's still the matter of UMG's motion to dismiss the case. UMG filed a motion to dismiss the case. That wasn't even considered yesterday. They didn't even get there yet. That will be heard by the judge on June 30th. Okay, Drake's team will amend their complaint and make the necessary changes by April 16th. Is what was discussed in the courtroom. And then UMG has 3 weeks to respond to that, which UMG will surely make a move and file to dismiss the case again. So the current complaint gets amended. UMG then receives that current complaint, and is fully expected that UMG will once again file a motion to dismiss this amended complaint, and it kind of starts the clock back up again. But the judge said that the court will hear the motion to dismiss on June 30th. Whether who knows which way the court will decide in that. So that's kind of the latest. And honestly, I never thought, I said this before, I never thought that this would see trial. I actually didn't think we'd get this far. This is still pre-trial. I thought they would settle out of court before we go to trial, and there's still time for that. But as of right now, what's going on? As of right now, there's date set, and I guess the next thing is the court will hear the motion to dismiss. So we'll see. My opinion on the lawsuit remains unchanged. I talked about this before. I'm no great sympathizer to Universal or the major label systems. I want to see artists get treated fairly. So any move to do that, any move to challenge the way that these major labels operate, I'm in general support of that. But to me, after losing a battle that Drake willingly participated in, a battle where Drake also threw dirt, and then you put Not Like Us square in the middle of it all, as if Not Like Us just dropped out of the sky, as if there was no context, and Not Like Us just came out of nowhere and had these lyrics aimed at Drake and was a diss record aimed at Drake. It just feels disingenuous to me. You know what I mean? And not in the spirit of, again, I've said this before, if Drake 3 years ago would have been like, hey man, I've been at Universal for so long, I've seen how it operates, and though I'm wildly successful, this is not fair to artists. Something here needs to change. Man, I'd respect the hell out of it. It just gets hard after a battle, a hip hop battle. You know what I'm saying? Where this is our culture, this is how we do. Not to mention all the times that Drake has benefited from the practices of UMG. Like, Drake is a force unto himself. Like that was destined to happen. I believe Drake could have signed anywhere, not anywhere because it does take a team, but somebody would have had to fuck that up. You know what I'm saying? Like, Drake has the type of career that you would have had to totally screw that up. It just feels, I'm a firm believer in what is meant for you is meant for you. And I think Drake was destined to be a star. But he had a team at Universal that helped build him up along the way. And so it's not to mention all the times that you benefited from the practices over at UMG. And more specifically, when they were promoting your records and your diss records. Back to Back is one that comes to mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's benefited from the things that he's alleging that UMG is doing with Kendrick right now. And I think that is, depending on how that's ruled, that this case could set a precedent. Using lyrics in court. Again, we didn't like it when they did it against Thug. We were against it. Drake was against it when they used the lyrics against Thug. And now we see lyrics showing up in court again in this lawsuit. It's not a criminal case, but a little unsettling, right? And what does it mean for hip hop? I don't know. We're going to have to follow this as it goes. But those are just my thoughts. We'll see what happens with the case. It'll be an interesting one for sure. Let me know what you think in the comments. And to all of y'all in the comments, with constructive criticism, constructive feedback, with an exchange of information. Y'all know, please know, if y'all don't know that I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? I really believe in this. I'm sitting here in a room by myself. I am talking to a camera. It is a little bit weird. There's nobody else around. But when we get in those comments, I know I'm talking to somebody. I know I'm talking to real people on those ends because the way y'all respond to me, and I hope y'all feel the way that I respond back, man. I'm always going to be accountable with y'all. I'm always going to be a human. I can admit when I could be better and all of that. And it is one of those times. So appreciate y'all, man. Till the next time. Peace.